word of prayer, and then we'll get right into it. Father in heaven, we thank you again for an opportunity to share this information about health and improving our body's abilities so that we can have clear minds to discern better your will for our lives. And be with us as we go through this topic. Help me to make it clear. And I ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so today we're going to be looking at the gallbladder and also the liver. Now, they're parts of the digestive tract, and the gallbladder portion is the green sac there under the liver. And what does the gallbladder do for our body? It stores bile. And the bile helps the digestive system to break down fats. That's its primary function.
Now, can you repeat that?
Yeah.
It stores what?
It stores bile.
Stores bile, which breaks out fat.
Yep. And bile is a mixture of mainly cholesterol and bilirubin, I can't even pronounce it hardly, and bile salts. Okay, so what if you don't have a gallbladder? Because some people have them removed. Well, the good news is that you can still live a normal life because your liver is constantly producing the necessary bile. It's just constantly putting it out. So it's not too much of a problem. Instead of storing it, of course, in the bile ducts to be used, it just constantly puts it out. Go ahead.
Does that make your liver work harder if you don't have a gallbladder?
Yeah, basically your liver is working a little bit harder. So some helpful foods for the gallbladder is apples, pears, beets, flaxseed or chia seeds, because the omega-3 fatty acids that they contain.
Oh, can you repeat that?
Yeah, apples, pears, beets, flaxseed, and chia seed. Now, the interesting thing about beets is they can be also very helpful for your bowels. And the beets are, as you probably know, a very good source of iron. And one thing to keep in mind when it comes to iron is the best way to help your iron to be the most absorbable is with some vitamin C.
Oh,
Yeah, so use some lemon, like if you're going to juice your beets, juice some lemon to go with it. That'll give you your vitamin C and your iron, and it will really help your intestinal tract if you get enough. So the omega-3s, though, that's in flaxseed and chia seed, it helps to make gallstones soluble, so it'll get backed up in your system. Now, taking 2 tablespoons of lecithin each day can also have good results as far as the concentration of bile in your system, and also affects gallstones. Turmeric is good to put in your food daily, and it also helps to prevent and to treat gallstones. Contains curcumin, which is good for inflammation. And let's see, milk thistle. It contains Silly Martin, which protects the liver, but also increases bile solubility. That's another one.
Now, where can we find milk thistle in an edible form?
You'd have to find it, like, maybe go to a park or something. You just usually find it in nature. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know if anybody wants me advertising, but my company, other than the Seventh-day Adventist company, Swanson.com, and they have a lot of herbs, you know.
Yeah.
They have a lot. They even have more than whole, you know, they have a lot of stuff, so if you wanna find herbs, whole herbs, I don't know. Still,
Swanson.com.
yeah.
Yeah, I frequently get email coupons from them.
Yeah.
So
there's other
Good deals.
If you find it in nature, what do you do with it? Just pick it up and eat it?
Yeah, no, you pick it and you make tea.
Oh,
For making tea, you take some water and bring it to a boil, and then you put your herbs in there, you turn off the heat source, and just keep it covered. Leave it covered about 15 minutes, and then strain it and drink it.
Now, does milk thistle look like anything else that might be poisonous, that might be easy to confuse it with?
I do not recall if there was something else that would be poisonous. I don't recall.
If you
Well,
don't
you don't
die,
have
then you're
to-
okay.
Yeah, you don't have to do
You
the.
don't die, you're-
Yeah, you don't have to do milk thistle. You can do chamomile or dandelion.
Oh, really?
dandelion,
Oh.
really?
Dandelion is especially good for the liver. In
Oh.
fact, the whole plant, from the root to the flower, is edible.
Oh, wow.
Well, we got plenty of them in the yard.
Yeah. In fact, I had some salad today with some dandelion flowers in there. Good stuff. Good for you.
Wow.
Good for the liver. So, what are the first signs of a bad gallbladder? The top 5 signs is, well, first of all, pain.
I need lots of
Yep.
it.
Oh,
Pain in that upper area there. Yes, if you look at someone, it would be upper left, so it would be right about in there, upper left of the belly button, just above it. And so that's one sign. Another one is nausea or vomiting. Chronic gallbladder disease can result in digestive issues such as nausea and vomiting. Additionally, acid reflux and gas may be experienced. Fever or chills and infection of the gallbladder can result in an unexplained fever or chills. And infections can be dangerous and even life-threatening. And so it's important to seek treatment before infection spreads to the other parts of the body. And chronic diarrhea or unusual stools or urine. Someone experiencing gallbladder problems may notice having more bowel movements during the day than what is normal. If this continues for several months, it can be a sign that there is a bigger problem. Chronic gallbladder disease could be the problem. In addition, a change in the color in a person's stool or urine is also a sign of gallbladder issues. If someone experiences a lighter colored stool or darker urine, it's important to contact a physician to find out. And jaundice, an additional sign of bile duct problems or stones is jaundice, which is the yellowing of the skin tone. And yeah.
Can you repeat that? Yellow tendon?
Yellow skin tone. If your skin tone gets really yellow looking,
Oh, okay.
it's a sign that there could be a problem with the gallbladder, and also could be a problem with the liver. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but, what if you don't have enough bile? I mean, traditionally I've taken enzymes with bile in it, and I suppose that's from an ox bile, so it's from a cow, so it's just not vegan, but, I mean,
Do you not have a gallbladder or?
no, I have a gallbladder, but it seems like if I don't have the enzymes with the ox bile and all that, I have troubles. I don't have quite enough bile.
Mm. Well, one way to increase your bile intake or amount the body's producing is the use of lemons.
Okay,
You know, lemons, you just do plenty of lemon juice, fresh squeezed lemon juice
okay.
is a good way. We're about to look at how to detox a liver and gallbladder. Now this, you might want to write this down because it's going to be a couple of slides on all this. So for the first 6 days prior to the flush, drink as much apple juice as possible between your regular meals. Try to make this juice fresh from organic apples, Granny Smith, or some other tart variety of apples is best. You don't have to do it that way, but it's just best. And then if you can't do it from fresh apples, then getting unsweetened pure apple juice is another good thing you can do without additives in it. And now the standard apple juice that they have on the shelf in like Walmart or grocery store, that's diluted. That's not going to be the full concentration you need. You need the pure form. Now, one thing you might be able to do is to buy the concentrate they have in the freezer section. There was containers of concentrated stuff. You could possibly get that and only dilute it half as much as they say with water. That might work. But if you can do it fresh, you're better off.
You know, what you suggested, you and your wife, and Laura ordered, as I said earlier,
Yeah.
with the celery, fresh apples, and carrots, make 2 glasses. And I noticed that my energy, after you get older, you know, it wouldn't hurt to have that a couple times a week or 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I appreciate what you said to get, not the, you know, the one that's slang.
Yeah.
I had one of those for a long time, but I never did use it.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that got the crush, like
Crushes it.
sausage grind, pushed out. But I really, it really has been a big help to us.
Amen. That's great. Yeah, so if you can get one of those kind of juicers, that'd be great. You'd be well off.
But it doesn't, we found one, you found one, how much was it?
It was under $100.
And is it good?
It was an off-brand name. It wasn't the
Oh, okay.
major brand name.
Uh-huh.
But it does the job, it's got all the screen and.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's working real well for us.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I'm glad. So during this time here, these 6 days prior, you don't want to be drinking anything cold during those days, and you want to limit or eliminate your intake of any protein foods, butters, or oils during that time as well, or you might feel a bit ill or queasy. So it's best to do that. And then at lunchtime on the 6th day, eat a normal meal. 2 hours after lunch, take 1 or 2 tablespoons of Epsom salts dissolved in 3 ounces of distilled water. The taste may be objectionable to some. If so, the mixture can be followed by a little grapefruit juice, freshly squeezed if possible. One of the main actions of the Epsom salts is to dilute the bile ducts, making it easier for the stones to pass through.
Are we talking about, Scott, Epsom salt? I soak my feet.
Yep, in Epsom
That
salt.
same salt?
Yep, same stuff.
Wow.
It's magnesium.
So you say you take what during the 6 days?
Yeah,
Okay,
2
okay.
tablespoons.
2 tablespoons? Just one time?
This is on the 6th day, 2 hours after lunch. We take 1 or 2 tablespoons of Epsom salts, dissolved in 3 ounces of water. And so the salts, clear out waste that may obstruct the release of the stones. Now, if you're allergic to Epsom salts, because some people are, or you're just not able to get them down, you may instead use magnesium citrate. And you can get that from Swanson's or some other source. And after this, on the 6th day after lunch, you want to fast. Just do a fast, just juice fast, or water fast, apple juice fast would be good. 4 hours, if you're still on the 6th day, 4 hours after that lunch, you'll take a 1 quart coffee enema with 1/4 of a cup of Epsom salts dissolved in it. And this should be retained for 15 minutes and then expelled. Now, you might not be able to reach the 15 minutes depending on what type of coffee you use. And when I say retained, I don't mean we're drinking it. I mean we're putting it up the other end. Because that's the only end you want to put coffee in. And you should make it a pretty strong blend. 4 tablespoons is probably the max you want to use. Unless you're using the type of coffee that is best for therapy use. And I'll show you a slide a little bit later on which kind that is and where to get it. And if you're using that kind, it's called Cafe Man's Therapy Roast. You don't want to use any more than 3 tablespoons of that because it's strong. And the purpose of the coffee is going to be to help pull stuff out of the liver and also get those gallstones out of there. So 5 hours after lunch, so we just did the 4 hours, now 5 hours. Take 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt dissolved as the previous dose. And that's drinking as well. Let's see. Okay, so at bedtime, take one of the following. So you choose one of these 3. First one being a 1/2 cup of unrefined cold pressed olive oil, followed by a small amount of orange, grapefruit, or diluted lemon juice. And that's to drink. You're drinking that down. And then the second option is 1/2 cup of olive oil blended with a 1/2 cup of orange, grapefruit, or diluted lemon. Fourth option is 4 tablespoons unrefined olive oil, followed by 1 tablespoon of citrus juice every 30 minutes until 8 ounces of oil is consumed. This choice is preferable for those who have had gallbladder problems in the past. So immediately upon finishing the oil and the juice, or while drinking it, go to bed and lie on the right side with the right knee drawn up towards the chin for 30 minutes before going to sleep. This encourages the oil to drain from the stomach, helping the contents of the bile, of the gallbladder, and liver to move into the small intestines. Now, if the person feels ill during the night, another strong coffee enema with Epsom salts dissolved in it may be taken. If there is a strong feeling of nausea the following morning, try to remain in bed until it subsides somewhat. Vomiting should not be forced. If nausea continues or there is a sore feeling in the upper abdomen, even after the enema, a light diet of sprouts, fruits, and freshly extracted vegetable juice, especially beets or greens, should be maintained for several days until the nausea subsides. Then the normal plant-based diet can be consumed after that. Do not be concerned by the references to nausea or soreness. This doesn't happen very often. Many complete this procedure with minimal discomfort, and nearly everyone feels much better after completion of it. Flushing the liver and the gallbladder stimulates and cleanses these organs as no other process does. Some additional things that might help is mandrake. It's a laxative, and you can do it 1 capsule every other day during the process. It's just a possibility. And on the 3rd day, if you can handle it, you can even just try to start fasting on the 3rd day, just doing the apple juice. And also, if you have liver problems or any kind of pains in the liver, use a castor oil pack and put that over your liver, wrap it up at night, and just sleep with that on your liver at night. And that should help too. And then if you can add to that castor oil some essential oils like some peppermint or spearmint, that helps as well. So here's the coffee, Cafe Mam. Just go to cafemam.com and check. They have a bunch of different blends, a bunch of different variations of it. And the particular one that you'll want is the therapy roast. It's the lighter version, because there's a dark, and then there's a medium, and then there's a light. It's going to be listed under the light version as the therapy roast. And that will do the job. And some people regularly use coffee enemas, like when people get sick with cancer. One of the things they use regularly are coffee enemas because of the liver and wanting to keep it clear. And it helps to clear the liver. But I don't suggest using them regularly unless you have cancer. If you don't have cancer, just buy a bag of it, a small bag, and use it only when you're doing this liver gallbladder detox. And I'm not the only one that has or is aware of this program. There's plenty of other people out there that are aware of it too. One man that you may have heard of, his name is Walt Cross. He's got a place. There's a link there for his website, for his ministry. And they've got a place, I think it's in North Carolina. I think it's in North Carolina. And he's got quite a story himself. He used to be in the healthcare system. And he was there for a while until his health started failing him. And you see, he was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. And he went from doctor to doctor to doctor. And finally they told him, There's nothing more he can do for you, go home and die. So then he turned to natural remedies. And he's still alive today, doing great, no more ulcerative colitis. He's cured of it by the use of natural remedies, and now he's out teaching. And you can find him on YouTube. He got plenty of videos on YouTube that he's done. And he also will mention this same type of program. And I remember one story he gave of a person that came to him, a man. He said that his doctor told him that he needed to have his gallbladder removed. He was about to lose his gallbladder, and he better get it removed quick, or it could be a bad situation. And so he went to Walt, and he said, "What do I do?" And Walt put him on this program, or a very similar program. And the guy did it, and he passed a bunch of stones. Went back to his doctor, and the doctor said, "It's fine. What did you do?" And some people, like, if you tell a doctor about this program, he'll probably tell you, "Oh, that doesn't work. That's all a bunch of hogwash. That's just the olive oil and the lemon juice coming out. That's nothing more than that." No, it's not true. Olive oil and the lemon juice don't make green crystals that come out of your system. It doesn't make sense. And we did this same program for a lady in Russia. And yeah, when she was done in the bathroom, she came out with this handful of green stones. And so we knew it works. It definitely works. And so, yeah, if there's no other questions, that's what we've got for today. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm thinking, because my mom died of liver cancer, and it kind of runs in the family, cancer. And I'm thinking if people didn't eat such rich foods, it wouldn't mess up the gallbladder. I've noticed if I eat a lot of fatty foods, then it's like I feel sluggish. I've never had gallstones, but it's like
Yep.
things aren't working right, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the rich diet the Americans have is 90% of what's killing them. And you know, and I know with me, I have to watch the junk food. Everything in the store is something that's bad for you. That's bad, you know. You just have to just only get organic things, you know, or else just be really careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a gallbladder removed. My sister, Darlene, that lives in Nebraska, she lived with us for a while, her and her kids. Well, I don't know where she fished. She soaked fish in oil. And I didn't know that at the time. And I ate me 2 or 3 pieces of the fish. Evidently my gallbladder was had problems. No, I didn't have any problem, no pain. But I'm sitting on the porch eating that, and then it just hit me, like I was dying. Well, they called the ambulance. You was there, and I was saying they were trying to hook an IV up. Take about 15 minutes. I said, "Well, get me to the hospital. I'm dying." And they're trying to get an IV in me. Well, they said, "You're probably having a heart attack." And I said, "No, I'm not having no heart attack." And I was in so pain. But after I went to the hospital, Dr. Graham came in the next morning. I guess they knocked me out and said, "You got to have surgery right away." So, but there wasn't no scars on me. How they ever got the gallbladder out, I don't know. There wasn't nothing in my belly button. There wasn't sore or nothing. So I don't know if they removed it or what. To this day, I don't know. I mean, well, I wasn't cut on.
I got scars
You did?
I got a scar too.
But after he removed it or whatever, you know, you can't eat, and I vomited, and I was sick, and I even went back. He knew that it was gonna take a while for get the body adjusted again. And I started eating some little bit of a broth of vegetable soup. Started me eating again. Is that normal?
Well, that's rough.
I mean, you can really get sick with the gallbladder.
Yeah, buddy.
Yes, I could if it was.
Yeah,
I was
that's-
down in the Florida like an Indian having a baby.
Well,
It hurts bad.
And that's why it's good to try to maintain good health so that you don't ever have that happen to begin with.
now, getting on this
Preventative
program,
medicine.
I've been doing some detox, not like this
Yeah.
here. But if I get on this program here with the liver, if it's removed, gallbladder, but it would help my liver.
If you wanna do something just strictly for the liver, I would suggest using dandelion and those type of things. And then
Okay.
also, one program you can do for the liver, I'm trying to remember exactly, how much olive oil to use with this. I think it's a cup. I can use a cup. And the way it works is, and this is primarily for the liver, but it helps with gallbladder too, but this program is specifically for the gallbladder, or gallstones especially, because that apple juice that you're drinking for the first 5 days, that helps to dilute the stones so they can pass easier. But for the,
You gotta do it before it happens.
for the liver in particular,
Get no water.
what you would do is, for 5 days, you start the first day, you juice 5 lemons, 5 medium-sized lemons, juice them, and drink it down with about, I'm thinking it's gonna be 1/4 of a cup of olive oil the first day. The second day, increase it to 1/2 a cup of olive oil, and you do 10 lemons. The next day, 15 lemons. The next day, 20 lemons. Yeah, and you're not diluting this, you're doing just straight lemon juice. And then finally, the 5th day, 25 lemons.
Oh, could you repeat that? Juice 5 lemons the first day and drink them once with a cup of olive oil.
Yeah.
Second day, increase it to
1/2 a cup of
half
olive oil.
cup.
Yeah, with 10 lemons. And then, the 3rd day, you can just maintain that 1/2 a cup until you get to the 5th day, then you can just do a full cup.
But 10 lemons
And you
each
don't
time.
have to do it all at one gulp, you just.
So
you
the
can
third
sip on
day-
it until you get it
Third
down.
day, 15.
15 lemons.
Fourth day, 20.
So when you're taking the
That's-
juice, the lemon juice,
Yeah.
you just do it gradually.
Okay.
Yeah, you just sip on that lemon juice until you get it
Okay.
down, but
Makes sense.
you don't do it throughout the day, you just take
Yeah,
about an
sip.
hour at a time and just, until you get it down. Now, I did this myself a while back, because I wanted to see if I could make it to 25 lemons, because that's quite a few lemons. And
Yes, it is.
man, it's tough. And so I made it to about 20 lemons for the 4th day, and I could just barely get that down.
Mix it
So-
with honey.
No, you don't want to do any
You
honey.
don't want to do that.
Not
Can you mix
this
it with a
time.
little water?
No, no water. It's
Oh, no
it's
mixing?
straight lemon juice.
Oh,
And if you can't make it to past, let's say you get to 15 lemons on the 3rd day, but you feel like, I'm so nauseated, I'm about to vomit, you're just gonna lay down, take it easy, don't vomit, you don't wanna vomit. Just lay down on your right side until it passes. And if you feel like you can't handle more than that, then the following days, until you get to the 5th final day, just do the same number of lemons, the maximum that you can handle.
Let me ask you a question,
Yeah.
since you're down the exhaust system. Let me colonoscopy, this stuff that they give you,
Yeah.
the drink. I mean, I only had one colonoscopy that's been several years ago. But drinking that stuff, what is that stuff do? I mean, does it clean out your intestines,
It's,
or what is
it's
it?
just a laxative to clean your intestines out.
But it's horrible to drink.
Yeah, it's a chemical-based laxative. One laxative I already mentioned was mandrake. And that can be used as a laxative. Another laxative is senna. And it's a good idea to take, to make yourself some senna tea about once a week, just to give yourself a good flush. And you can use that. And to make it, of course, for teas, most teas, not all teas, but most teas, like for leaves and such, you just take your dried leaves or your fresh leaves, and you bring the water to boil, put the leaves in there, cover it, turn the heat source off, and let it sit for 15 minutes, and then strain it, and it's ready. For senna, you just take try starting with like a fourth of a cup of the leaves, maybe half a cup, with 1 cup of water, and make the tea with that, and try taking that. And if you don't notice any difference, the next week, increase it to a full cup of leaves.
Well, you mentioned, got me thinking about the dandelions you mentioned. I know it's
Yeah.
eatable dandelions. But would you put dandelion make a tea out of it? How would you fix the
Yeah, you
dandelion?
can use that as a tea. You can also actually take another way to stimulate the liver. As far as these enemas, instead of using coffee, another way to do it is to make a dandelion root tea
Okay.
and add to it just about a tablespoon, no more than a tablespoon, of fresh lemon juice, and put
Okay.
that, fill a whole container, enema container, with water and that tea. Put that tea in there too.
So we're
And
talking
as
about
long as
dandelion
it's
rather than,
lukewarm, you don't want it hot, it's
Okay.
lukewarm, and do an enema with that, and that will also stimulate the liver, and the liver will dump.
Now, how long do you boil the water for if you're making a tea?
You don't boil it.
You
On the
just bring
boil?
the water to a boil,
Bring
then
to
you
a
put
boil.
the stuff on there and cover it and turn it off. And let it sit for
Bring
15
to a boil,
minutes.
cover and turn it off,
Mhm.
and
Let it
then let it sit for 15 minutes?
Yep.
Okay.
And then, yeah, the senna tea it's good. It's a good one, and you, like I said, do it about once a week. You don't want to do any more than once every 3 days, and that'll help keep your bowels cleaned out partly. Another thing that we mentioned before is the use of psyllium, and that's something you want to use every day. About a tablespoon of psyllium every day, mixed with some juice or something. You can drink that down, and I'd say drink it down about 45 minutes before your meal, and it'll give you a probiotic, not probiotic, what is it? Prebiotic, and help your intestines to sweep out too. Go ahead.
Well, what do you think of the Metamucil, which has sugar in it? I suppose that would be not reversing.
I wouldn't use it. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be
yeah, I
better?
used that for a while and I got off of it because, Metamucil, you're talking about,
Yeah,
Yeah. Somebody recommended it, worked out for a while, but after a while it started doing some other things.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Prune juice,
So is it got
fruit is
sugar in
good
it?
too.
Metamucil?
prune juice is good for your weight.
yeah, or prunes, just plain prunes.
I'm surprised that Procter & Gamble, a soap company, makes that.
I don't know if we shared with you all yet the concoction for, I don't know if I have it on my phone. There's a special concoction for iron deficiency.
Iron deficiency.
That, let me see. Oh, there it is, Iron Builder. I think this is it. Yep, that is it. Iron Builder, this is a good concoction. 1 part raisins, 1 part Turkish sun-dried apricots, 1 part prunes, 1 part figs, and 1 to 4 ounces of black cherry or tart cherry concentrate, and 1 to 4 ounces of blackstrap molasses. And
Can you put that up on the screen?
I don't have.
Repeat again, 1 part raisins, 1 part apricots, prunes,
Yes.
figs, 1
Yeah,
flax.
you don't want to use any apricots. You want to use the Turkish sun-dried or the California sun-dried apricots. You'll notice a difference because they're not that light orange color, they're brown. They're sun-dried. And then 1 part prunes, 1 part dried figs. And then 1 to 4 ounces, usually you can just do 4 ounces of black cherry or tart cherry concentrate, and 4 ounces of blackstrap molasses. And then you get a container of the Welch's Pure grape juice, not grapefruit juice, but grape juice, like the stuff you use for communion. And you take all that, combine that in a large glass jar. And let it sit. And you'd probably use about half of one of those containers, enough to cover everything, and then another half inch on top. And then let it sit overnight on the counter. Just let it sit overnight. And then the next day, the following morning, you refrigerate it. And then you drink about 2 ounces of it every day. And you can do it 2 or 3 times a day. And it's just an extra iron boost for your system. A good iron boost.
Why is it the old timers, my mother, would give us castor oil?
Castor oil's good too. That's another.
You did that all the time. I didn't know why it tasted bad, maybe.
It's awful tasting.
I never take casserole to leave.
But it's good for the liver. You know, like if you use it externally,
Yeah.
it's also good internally to help with the intestines, help to flush the
Can you
intestines.
still buy that castor oil?
Oh yeah, you can still do.
Well, I haven't had it since I left home, years ago.
Yeah. I've used them myself from time to time. I just take a few tablespoons of that before you go to bed, and by morning you'll be moving pretty good, probably.
Yeah, no.
But it's hard to drink though. It's
And you think
nasty.
20 lemons is not?
Oh, that's much easier.
25.
But that's just lemon juice.
What a mess about iron.
'Cause of that-
Oh, yeah, that's the iron building drink.
Oh, yeah.
Now let me see if I can push this over to you.
Is there
And
any,
there's
the lady's telling me that she has too high of iron.
Oh, too high?
That's what her doctor's telling her.
Wow, that's unusual. I wonder what's going on there.
She
Mm.
tried not to eat certain foods, you know,
Yeah.
has iron.
Hmm.
I just wondered what she should do.
Yeah.
I'm
and
taking her blood every week. Don't know what that's all.
I would suggest making sure that she might even want to consider doing the liver gallbladder flush
If she would
and
do it.
make sure her system's going regularly. Because that could be a problem, yeah.
Now, the iron that isn't organic is actually not good for you, right?
Nope, not good.
So if people are taking supplements and that has iron in it, they're actually reversing their health things.
Yeah, you want to make sure it's a veggie source of iron.
Yeah, well, I missed out on the iron drink.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, the iron drink is Maybe I can get it to come over. Oh, there it is, okay.
What do you mean a veggie source of iron?
Yeah, there it is. Oh, oh.
Well, there's organic and inorganic iron, you know, you're eating the unorganic, it's just like eating nails.
Oh,
It's
what
not
is
actually
that?
yours.
There, I'll have to hold it like that.
People don't realize that, huh? See, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if he heard her out.
I need to
but-
find, I need to check it on the web and see if I can find it, but yeah, if you all got that, I'll pull that off so I can find this veggie source of iron.
She wanted to know what's the difference between veggie, iron, and the other.
Yeah.
Veggie, you get it from, like
Like
spinach and
beets,
stuff?
spinach, yeah, that type of thing. But there's supplements that are veggie based, and they don't have it from any other source. But it's the versions that are not plant based, they damage the organs, they damage internal system. Because see, your body will dump the iron through your waste that it doesn't need. Any excess, it usually goes through the intestinal tract and such, or urine, mostly intestinal tract, and then your body dumps it out. So if somebody's, I don't know, I just get the impression that if somebody's body's holding on to the iron and has an excess iron, they're either taking supplements they shouldn't be taking, or they may have a backed up intestinal tract, and then maybe
It's not working.
get that flushed out.
So when we give our blood, then we just need to eat a lot of beets and a lot of,
Beets, spinach, yeah, leafy greens are good for iron, the beets particularly. And one recipe that my wife made as far as the beets, because I never liked beets. Like when my grandmother would make beets, oh, it tasted like the smell of dirt.
Like
It
dirt.
was
It tastes like dirt.
disgusting.
it tastes like
Yeah.
dirt.
So my wife, she made me some Russian beet salad, is what they call it. And when I tried that, I was thinking, oh, okay. Then I was shocked. I'm like, wow, this doesn't taste like dirt. This is good. And it was good stuff. It was a really simple recipe. And it's cooked beets and some lightly roasted garlic, and however many cloves you want, and then some walnuts, and some salt, and blend all that together, and that's it. Simple as that. And it's amazing how that the walnuts and the garlic in particular really changes the flavor,
Huh,
and it makes it really tasty.
huh.
That's the only way I know to eat it that I like it. Yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, that's it for today. Yeah.
You'll never get out of here if I keep asking questions. Well, I'm thinking where my mom had her gallbladder out, she died of liver cancer. If you have your gallbladder out, are you more apt to have liver problems because you're putting a load on your liver?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to be more careful.
Yeah. And so you want to do more foods or teas or herbs that are good for the liver.